Welcome to another episode where we delve into the fascinating world of astral projection. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to leave your physical body and explore the realm of astral plane? I'm sure not many of us are aware about this topic. So, in this podcast, we will guide you to unlock the mysteries of the astral realm. So let's strap our astral wings and embark the adventure beyond the physical plane. And we have Poonamji to enlighten us about this topic. So, like we start all our podcasts with a basic question explaining what the topic is. So, what exactly is astral projection?
I'm going to speak in English and in Hindi as well because there have been people who've been telling me to speak in Hindi. So today I will talk in both the languages. But before we go ahead and I will explain what is astral projection, what it means. So it's a very estrogenic word, of course, like, a lot of spiritual people, they use this term. And a lot of people speak about out of body experiences, wherein the consciousness leaves your body, and that consciousness is at a very different level, at a different structure, at a different schema. It's at a very altered state of brain. That is what is called as an out of body experience, wherein the brain structure and the brain signal, it changes, it creates its own schema and its own perception. So a lot of people say that, when they are spiritually practicing meditation, they experience that their soul is leaving their body and it's traveling in a very different multiverse, or it's in a different 3D world, in a different universe altogether. But scientifically, this is not how it is. Scientifically, it has been proven as a mental disorder as well, psychological disorder as well. So if I had to explain you what exactly an astral projection means is, it's your brain which is perceiving a kind of a signal from your body when it is in an acute state of void, okay, and a continuous state of void. It reaches a level of consciousness when you stop feeling your body, when you stop feeling that normal consciousness, and you've reached a state of an unaltered consciousness of void, is what is an astral projection. So in an astral projection, it is often thought of that the soul is leaving the body, but that is not how it is. It is just a state, an altered state, when the schema of the brain is changing completely, and you are kind of reaching that state or that level in your body wherein your six senses, or
Hmm.
uh, the other senses of your body, okay, they are reaching a state of null and void. Like you stop perceiving these six senses. Okay, so this is what is called as an astral projection.
So, what really happens when you astral project? I mean, what do you normally feel when that happens?
So it's a kind of an experience wherein which of course is about your body floating, which is also called as a लघिमा सिद्धि, जो हमने सुना भी होगा। हनुमान जी के पास ये शक्ति थी लघिमा. And there are in fact many yogic kriyas also which kind of helps you in लघिमा siddhi. Okay, but this is a very very difficult kind of a yogic kriya. And in tantra, laghima is said to be one of the highest levels of siddhi, wherein your body starts floating in the air. Okay, that is called as laghima siddhi. So बहुत लोगों को इस चीज का कंफ्यूजन है. लकीमा सिद्धि को एस्ट्रल प्रोजेक्शंस के साथ में कंपैरिजन किया जाता है, आउट ऑफ बॉडी एक्सपीरियंस के साथ कंपैरिजन किया जाता है. आपकी जो बॉडी होती है, मतलब एट वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, ऑफ कोर्स व्हेन यू आर इन योर ध्यान, व्हेन यू आर मेडिटेटिंग, तो उस वक्त में आपकी बॉडी बहुत लाइट फील होनी शुरू होती है. The reason being because your focus has become aligned. Okay, it is projecting towards a very single particular consciousness, which is your highest consciousness. तो जब आपका वो जब आपका जो एक ध्यान जो होता है वो एक तरफ में मतलब लाइक अलाइंड हो जाता है, सेंट्रलाइज्ड हो जाता है, उस टाइम पे आपके सेंसेस ऑलमोस्ट डेड होने शुरू हो जाते हैं. आपके जो सेंसेस होते हैं वो दैट इज नॉट एक्चुअली इन योर पावर, और योर ब्रेन हैज स्टॉप परसीविंग दी सेंसेस. सो उस वक्त में आपको जो एक फीलिंग होती है, दैट फीलिंग इज लाइक नॉट फीलिंग योर बॉडी. Okay, not feeling your body, and that is said to be the out of body experience. In psychological terms, there are certain people who experience out of body experiences in coma, that first alpha and the beta level of sleep disorder. They might experience astral projections at a theta level of sleep, wherein the person is not dreaming at all. Okay, when that person has dreamt and like is in deep sleep, or the state of shifting of consciousness towards that deep samadhi state of sleep, okay, which is very temporary. I'm not talking about the samadhi which we take in the Ashtanga yoga. I'm talking about the sleep, the normal sleep, the theta sleep, wherein your body is healing at the max. That time also the body might project a little up, because your senses are at that time, they're not dead, but then they are not with you at that moment, right? So that's where your body can project. That's where the soul, so-called soul, like people say कि आत्मा का शरीर से बाहर निकल जाना, वो होता है. And that is that state of consciousness which is the most highest form of energy, the highest form of higher consciousness as well. जी.
अब जैसे when you meditate, there is a certain level of concentration that you need to even meditate. So like what creates the right mindset or the right environment to attempt astral travel?
I think it's a very initial phase of dhyana, of meditation. Very, very initial, when your brain is moving to a different state of consciousness, which is not your normal consciousness. This different consciousness is said to be another world, which the youngsters have called as multiverse, or the 3D world, or the 5D world. And we speak that as we talk, people even say that the earth is moving from the 3D to the 5D. Right? So this is all about the understanding of this factor of this particular word, astral projection. So what it's a very initial phase of sadhana, very initial, when you're completely aligned with your senses, but slowly and slowly those senses, they nullify. You reach a state of void. You connect completely with your highest consciousness, and automatically the frequency of the body, it projects. When you stop feeling the body around yourself, that's because your senses are dead here at this stage. So you start feeling that you are astrally projecting. Astral means a level higher than the earth. So astral, like an astral projection, you're projecting to a higher frequency. That is what it means here. So what it takes to reach to this level is your focus, your concentration, your uh, your ability to reach that state of zero, that zero meditation, zero. Okay, absolutely. When your brain is hot, it's absolutely when your brain is stop responding to the noise of the environment. When you're not listening to anything which is surrounding you. When your awareness becomes dead. Okay, when you stopped reacting to the pain in your body while you're sitting in that one position. So that's when you actually realize that your body is projecting. It's going to that higher level, higher frequency. Yeah.
So, is there a particular time when you start to feel that your body is starting to react in a different way, or your mind is going to a different level? or it is like based on the concentration that you put, or any other specific things?
It's an amalgamation of both, I think. But then for me, I can speak from my own experience. I would not be able to be. I will not be able to speak from somebody else's experiences. But when your subtle body, basically, um, it changes gears. Okay, basically the normal consciousness to the super consciousness to the superlative consciousness to the higher consciousness, the subconsciousness, when there is an amalgamation of everything, together, and when they're all aligned in one. Okay, that's when your mind frame, your brain schema uh, starts perceiving what is inside you,
Hmm.
and it stops reacting to what is in the environment. So when you do that, automatically you will see that the body is projecting. Your body is, I don't know if many of you have experienced this or not. I sometimes suddenly feel that I am short. Sometimes I suddenly feel I am tall. Sometimes I suddenly feel I'm fat. Sometimes I suddenly feel that I'm thin. These are some of the experiences that you start getting when you get into the dhyana or the meditation, and the when you are in sync
Hmm.
consciousness and the change in consciousness, the the continuous conscious changes which happens during the meditation, from, like I have explained just now, from a normal consciousness to subconscious to higher consciousness to superlative consciousness to maybe to that level of theta, and from there to samadhi state. Yeah.
So, like, there are different stages in anything that we do. But are there any specifications that you have to follow to reach that level and feel that kind of, that your soul is leaving the body, or like that you have attained that particular stage of astral projection?
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm having a little bit of cold. So,
That's
yeah. So to answer your question, see, first and foremost, I would not recommend astral projections to just anybody, because to understand the altered state of mind is not all that easy for a layman.
hmm.
But with the hype that is coming, because a lot of hype around astral projections, everybody wants to astrally project, and they want to experience their body floating in another universe, which is unlikely to happen. Okay, so you're just in your dream state. If you think that you can float and you can see all the stars and the planets,
Yeah.
okay, and you have actually reached the state of samadhi and you're in sync with that kind of an energy of the universe, the divinity, wherein like the higher three chakras are exactly aligned with the universe, and you start receiving the information from the sahasrara. Okay, that comes at a very, very later stage when
Okay.
you are actually in the state of samadhi. Okay, the astral projection is just a very basic level of meditation, or rather, I would say in that meditative pose, you kind of like project yourself to a higher frequency, and people feel that they have reached the stars. So you're just feeling yourself, and you try to fool the world. So in astral projection, nothing of that sort happens. It's just the experience of your body feeling lighter. The subtle body feels warmer and calmer, because your mind is changing its design. And it is reaching that state of consciousness wherein your mind becomes balanced. It becomes in sync with the nature and the temperature of your body itself.
Yeah.
That's the station protection. So I would not recommend any person, any layman, to go ahead and do this, because it just can be an extremely dangerous practice. Because I've seen a lot of people trying to practice these through projections, through these subliminals, and through these um, frequencies which are available on YouTube. They
Yeah.
lose that after a point of time. They get dispersed. Their energies gets, disturbed, and they end up becoming mad. They they will just speak crap, which does not even make sense. The problem with majority of people is they don't even understand the concept, the basic concept, the science behind spirituality, and they goof up their lives. So I would not recommend anybody without a guru, somebody who has already experienced it, and that's a different story. But somebody who has experienced it will not speak crap.
Yeah.
But those people about astral projection, and they got how they got attacked by some demon, and they how they got attacked by some ghost, and how somebody tried to invade into their space and they got possessed. All these are stories. So for me to explain this, I think you need to be supervised before you go ahead and, like, even if you start basic of meditation, you need a proper guru.
Like you said, not a normal person can, perform this, but somebody who has, started following the path of spirituality and is very new to this concept, and people just want to be one step ahead of everything. So somebody of, that person, if they want to try it, what is the process which they, first should go through and then try this kind of thing?
So, Garima, let me tell you one thing very specifically. I don't know how many of you will agree to me, but meditation in itself is not somebody's cup of coffee. Okay, because for meditation, you need to be all very focused, and you need to know and understand why you are meditating in the first place. Okay, a lot of people meditate because they want to become psyches, they want to become clairaudient and clairvoyant. If that is your purpose, then don't meditate. Because for meditation, of course, you need all your collective energies to come together, and like you have to put your focus totally on one point, okay, before you can actually meditate.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are recommended meditation when they are very dispersed, when they are in distress, when they are troubled, when they are like in pain. But when you are in pain, you cannot focus. Very simple. When you are disturbed, you cannot focus. Then only when you're shorted in the head is when you can focus and you can meditate. So for a layman to start meditating, first and foremost, you have to first collect your dispersed energies. You have to be first sorted in the head before you actually practice spirituality. You actually start practicing meditation. So even to start like with meditation, I think the basic steps that was given in Patanjali Yoga Sutra also is do a little bit of yama, niyama, pranayama, yogasana.
Yeah.
All these things needs to be taken care of before you can actually go ahead with a dhyana dharana samadhi. So all these things have to be very much taken care of. Okay. So I think first and foremost, a person needs to understand the meaning of meditation and why they want to get into meditation. Secondly, how much they will be able to sustain, how much they will be able to hold their emotions at that one point. Okay. At one point, at one single point. And the fourth point would be like, start very small, like for 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then extend it to 30 minutes, then 40 minutes, then go beyond it. So uh, I think for me, when I started meditating, I was only meditating for half an hour when I started meditating. Then I started meditating for an hour. Then came a phase when I started meditating for 3 hours at a stretch. Then I started meditating for 7 hours at a stretch. And that's when I started experiencing the, out of body experiences. When my senses went dead and I was able to focus on my third eye only, and I was able to connect with my higher consciousness, and all the divine knowledge and wisdom and everything started coming to me automatically through the inner voice, through the divinity inside. you know so these things don't come to you at once. So people these days, they don't have patience.
Yeah.
They feel that everything should come to them easy, but they shouldn't come to you easy. If anything comes to you easy, you will screw up your life. I'm sorry for using this word screw, but then definitely yes, it will destroy your life. It will disperse your energies completely. So one has to take one step at a time. If at all you want to experience something like this, you have to realize that nothing comes very easy and nothing comes very fast. You don't have to be impulsive. You have to go very slow, walk slow.
I think a lot of youngsters of our generation, they don't have that patience to, wait for something and then get it. They just want to jump and, that get everything at once and then they're done. So
Right.
I think I have heard about lucid dreams, but I don't know if that is connected to astral projection, or that is something totally different?
In simple terminologies, if I have to explain what is lucid dreaming, lucid means what? Lucid is a dream which you have a control over. So the dreams that you get in your night, of course, in the night, you don't have a control over them.
Yeah.
Okay, because your consciousness has shifted so much with your meditation, with your with your continuous chanting of mantras. Your consciousness has shifted so much that you kind of even are in that position to control your sleep and the sleep pattern and the energies which is surrounding your sleep.
Yeah.
So control over your dreams. You might have seen that. You might have probably noticed that. When you see a nightmare, all of a sudden you wake up. You get up all of a sudden, right? You don't want to see that dream. That's why is that happening? Because your consciousness tells you that this is not something that you want to see, even in your dreams. Or if you've seen some nightmares, you start chanting Hanuman Chalisa in your dream.
Yeah.
Why is that happening? Because your consciousness is telling you somewhere, even if you're sleeping, your subconscious and conscious state of mind is working somewhere. And it is telling you that this is not something that your brain wants to manifest. And hence, to put a stop to it, you start chanting Hanuman Chalisa or some mantra that you connect with.
Yeah.
Okay? Or even maybe, just wake up from your sleep. Okay? So then there comes a time, there comes a phase in your life when you actually start controlling the dream, the kind of dream that you want to see for yourself. Because dreams always remember one thing in Tantra, dreams can also be manifested.
Yeah.
Dreams can also be manifested, if you align your energies to that particular dream. Okay. So hence lucid dreaming is basically when you are in control of your dreams and you're manifesting that particular dream. So, to answer your question, if it has anything to do with astral projections, um, it definitely has a connection because lucid dreaming is also an altered state of consciousness,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have a direct connection with astral projection.
Okay. So I think I myself and a lot of viewers would like to know your personal experience. Like, what did you feel when you had astral projection?
Okay, I think, see, I was never a very controlling person. I always trust the process. Okay. So I kind of never sat down and I analyzed why this is happening with me.
Hmm.
Okay. I am a person who could never visualize. I had to always skip that dharana part of the Ashtanga Yoga. Okay. Because I cannot visualize at all. I'm very bad with it. So Kriya Yoga never worked for me because Kriya Yoga is about visualization. What worked for me was like when I had for meditation, I was able to connect. I was able to collect my energies together. I was able to channelize my energies. I was able to connect directly with my third eye. Maybe some past life karma. Maybe I have learned it somewhere. Maybe I'm an old soul. I don't know. So, but then I was able to do it. And by God's grace, by Shiva's blessings, I was able to connect with my high consciousness. I never used psychedelics in my life. Never ever. So I think for me, astral projection came very naturally. That sixth sense fading away, and when you are like only in sync with that beautiful energy, that blissful energy, that ananda, satta chitta ananda, that beautiful consciousness, I was able to connect with. So I, I I don't know when and how it all happened with me, but for me that divine experience was such that I don't even want to remember and recall how and when I astrally projected. It was just, I did experience an out of body experience though. I had a near death experience long back. That time I did have an out of body experience. But I think that was the only time when I could see white light and everything was like fading away in front of my eyes. Everything was fading away. I was crying. I had tears in my eyes. I had I could just and just divine one. And there was a voice in my ears which said, "Wake up. You have to get up. Your karma is still pending." So that was the only thing that I can remember probably in my life, and this was the most beautiful experience that I've had. And probably that was the astral projection and the out of body experience that I had in my life. Apart from that, the normal experiences that you have normally when you're meditating, like you feel lighter, your body is like vibrating at a high frequency. You are suddenly connecting with the energies of your body, your innate soul. The antaratma. That experience is, it cannot be explained in words.
Yeah, exactly. Such experience are surreal, and I think you cannot explain the feeling you felt back then, but I think we can connect. And I think at the end, these topics are very sensitive. So I want you to address the youth and the people who just, try doing such things without any knowledge. And, like it is not safe to do anything without having a proper knowledge of something. So what would you would like to address to them?
Yeah, I think the inquisitive mind will remain inquisitive, and some things which is very intrigue for the young generation. There is nothing, absolutely nothing that can be done about it. To be honest, no matter how much you shout and scream and tell people that you shouldn't do it, very dangerous, it's not good for your mental health. People have that inquisitiveness. So they go on YouTube, they look for all these kind of videos where they have these different kind of frequencies and these subliminals. And yeah, okay, there is this new concept of star seeds which have popped up from the
Hmm.
Westerners, which people have a hype about. Like, I'm a star seed from that universe and this universe.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. You could be a star seed from a different universe. Who cares? You're on Earth, and what contribution you're making to this planet adds up to your karma and adds up to your present birth. And you should not be concerned about what you were in your previous birth. Your karma is in this birth, so hence you've been sent here. So
Yeah.
people do not appreciate, and people do not agree, and people do not have gratitude to the current birth, and rather they want to speak about 3D and 5D worlds. Okay, it shows very clearly shows that people are ignorant. They do not want to explore what is around them. They don't want to explore what nature is telling them,
Yeah.
but they want to explore something which is like outside
Oh,
somewhere in the universe, which is very unknown, which has no, scientific evidence. It's just an understanding of people. It's just a perception of people. So I've seen this with people, that people are habituated to believe in something which has become famous.
hmm.
I always said this to even my friends and my colleagues that, for example, whatever gains name, people start following it.
Yeah.
Had If I take the example of our Indian history also, um, had Ravan won the battle, then people would have worshipped Ravan and not Ram. So people not worship the good versus bad, but people worship which has won,
Hmm.
which has gained fame and fame.
Yeah.
They don't want to use brains. They don't want to use their own intuition. They don't want to use their own, because people are lazy. They don't want to experience. They just read three or four chapters of a book, and they believe that they're very knowledgeable and they know everything.
Yeah.
Okay, they relate to certain things in the books, and they think that, oh my god, I am like this. I've seen so many people who come to me because I'm an astrologer and I'm a psychologist as well. So a lot of people come and say, am I a reincarnation of Ram? Am I a reincarnation of Nandi? So these are some of the terminologies that people use. So they just read three or four terms, terminologies, and they start believing in it. They don't experience it. And I always believe in pushing people to experience something.
Hmm.
Come back with your own perception. Come back with your own understanding. My own experience can be very different from somebody else. Like I said, I can't visualize.
Hmm.
Okay, for some else, they might be good with visualization. I am not good with visualization at all. But does spirituality not work for me? It does. So it is totally different from somebody. So I think for the new generation, it is very important to understand that your own experience is very important. Read books. There's no harm in reading books. But more, borrowed knowledge will always be a borrowed knowledge. You're taking somebody else's experiences as yours,
Hmm.
right? and you're
Yeah.
building up a perception around it. Please don't do that because it's extremely harmful for you. It will stop your growth at one point of time. You will have this knowledge, but you will not know what to do about that knowledge. Okay, so if you're reading and learning something, if you're perceiving something, if you're interpreting something, please do experience it and add up to it. Like add new knowledge to it, add new experiences to it, add a different perception to it, rather than sticking on to that which is already in the market.
Yeah. I think YouTube, it is a good platform when you use it properly, but it is also very influential platform. That people, they just watch something and they feel ki, when he can do it, why can't I? So I think people just don't take proper knowledge or don't have the patience to sit themselves and, study about something or know something. And they just want to, see something and just do it themselves.
This is not
So,
spirituality. If you are comparing yourself with somebody else, your journey will be your journey might be extremely different from somebody else.
hmm.
How can there be a comparison? There cannot be comparison between two people, two souls, two energies. It's highly impossible. But then yes, this is one of the worst attitude I think people have inculcated in them. They compare themselves with others. I've seen this youngsters that, oh my God, he's more powerful than I am. I
Yeah.
don't even understand this word power. Where is this word power coming in spirituality? And how is this even surfacing? But this is what people are understanding out of spirituality, that spirituality is all about gaining powers, but that's not the reality. That is not the truth because half of the people they don't even understand what is spirituality.
Hmm.
So the comparison, wherever there is a comparison, you are a failure. There is no competition even within yourself. You at the end of the day, you will become what you're supposed to become.
Yes.
You do your sadhana or you don't do your sadhana, you will ultimately reach that goal, that point, that destination which you're supposed to get to. Irrespective of you do anything or you don't do anything.
But I think if you travel the journey yourself, the journey becomes more beautiful rather than just reaching the destination and, just doing things at the end without the whole process.
So the destination is set, I think, for everybody. The destination is, I think, is the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, but how you walk that path is your free will.
True.
You take
Yeah.
a train towards your destination, you take a flight towards your destination, or you take a bus towards your destination. That's totally your call. That's totally your free will. So some
Yeah.
people are able to recognize a flight, which is like a direct flight. Some people are able to just recognize how to walk towards it. So some people are slow, some people are fast. So that's the only thing. But at the end of the day, everybody's destination is the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
The end of this video. It's always fun to know something very different. And, you come here and share so much knowledge with all of us. And it feels good. Personally, it feels, good to know something that I haven't explored or I haven't even thought about exploring that side. So it makes me feel happy at the end of every video that I do with you. And it's always a pleasure to get so much knowledge from your side.
I'm glad, Garima. Thanks for
Thank,
connecting again. And
thank,
it's always a pleasure to speak with you too. And I love that smiling face of yours. So keep smiling.
thank you so much.
God bless.
Thank you.